Week 2 of this journey around Scotland's entire mainland coastline, and it's already clear this trip is being shaped as much by the people I meet as the places I pass through.
That is incredible.
Well, good morning, folks, and it is a beautiful, bright winter day here up in North Berwick. Last week, you'll know, I set off on this challenge of driving the entire coast of mainland Scotland down in the borders, and I've made my way up to North Berwick. And before I head further along the East Lothian coast, I had to come and check this place out. It's freezing cold, it's bright, it's sunny. I'm gonna go and wake myself up. Perched right on the edge of the cliffs above North Berwick, this spot feels like it was made for slowing down. With the sea stretching out below and the sound of the waves rolling in, it's the kind of place that instantly makes you pause. Escape Sauna is all about warming up and cooling down the body after time outside, but the real magic is inside the Drift Café itself. The setting, the atmosphere, and honestly, the food was to die for. Well, what a breakfast that was. It was absolutely brilliant. It's probably the best, tastiest meal, like dish, if you like, I've had in ages from anywhere. It was sensational. It's just such a cool concept, you know, with the sort of storage containers put together, the cafe, and the service of food's excellent, and then having the saunas there as well. There's actually another sauna looking out towards Bass Rock as well as the one that I was in. I mean, what a perfect start to the day. Absolutely sensational. Now I'm going to continue west along the coast towards our capital city, Edinburgh. So these places are really an absolute godsend for a van lifer like me, but people use them all the time that are in houses as well if they've got a huge big load to do or duvets and things like that. They're really, really handy. Takes around about 35 minutes or so for a wash, and then I've got to put them in for a dry after. Usually takes 15 to 30 minutes max, really. And I've left the engine idling here just to give the batteries a bit of a charge. It is bright and sunny, but you don't get an awful lot of solar hitting that roof, unfortunately, at this time of year, because the sun's just so low in the sky. But it's a beautiful day. I'm not driving huge distances as I do this coastal road trip, so it is going to be quite tricky, a bit different from usual when it comes to keeping the leisure batteries charged, running the engine. It requires time, as the engine's running. I don't like to leave it idling for too long, and I don't have an electric hookup. I've never ever had one. I've never needed one before, to be honest, because of the life of the batteries. They're superb lithium LiFePro batteries. So yeah, it's one of these things. I'm just idling it here for an hour or so, and that'll really help before I make my way further down the coast towards Gullane. I've just left North Berwick. I'm going to go inland just slightly. It's about 15-minute drive inland to a couple of places that I've wanted to see for ages. Well, we're actually closed at the moment, but I have bumped into Fraser, who works for the National Trust of Scotland, and he's just going to tell us a little bit about how this actually worked, if that's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, Preston Mill is probably the oldest surviving water mill in Scotland. Our roots are truly ancient. The earliest record we have of a mill here is when it was repaired in 1598.
When it was repaired.
Yes.
Right.
It suggests it was much older. There was a priory close to here in the 12th century,
Okay.
and it's possible the monks of the priory might have built the first mill here. So there could have been a mill on this site for 800 years.
Wow.
Wouldn't have looked like this the whole time. It's been changed and
Yeah.
altered all through its history. This building is a kiln. It's an oven for drying oats, and oats were the main diet of the local people.
Yeah.
You would have a bowl of porridge for your breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
You would go to work in the fields, and your midday snack would almost certainly be your piece, which was porridge which had been left over, poured into a wooden drawer in your kitchen dresser. And once it had dried, you would cut yourself a slice, and that was your piece.
All
And
right.
that replaced
Okay.
the bread in your sandwiches.
Right.
So you
Okay.
would take your piece, and you would either eat it cold as it was, or you might fry it, heat it up that way. When you
Right.
came home at night, you've probably got oatmeal again. Might be in the form of something like haggis, or
Right.
added
Okay.
into a stew, but you were eating oats
Constantly.
practically every meal of your life.
Yeah. I mean, I like my porridge, but maybe not quite that quite that much.
Yes. And it would be very plain compared to what we're
Oh,
used
yeah.
to.
Yeah.
The only flavouring they would have on their porridge would be salt.
Right. Okay. Aye, the old traditional
so
way.
a bit of fruit or syrup or anything like that.
No
that might
honey.
be made to
Yeah.
make it a bit more exciting tends not to happen.
Right. Okay.
The kiln has a fire on the ground floor. The wind blows in over the fire and will then get heated and rise through the building. And as it rises, it passes through the oats, which are spread over the upper floor.
Right. Okay.
And that reduces the moisture content in the oats. The oats, when they're fresh, contain about 20% water. And if you try to grind them down on a millstone, they'll turn to mush. So you need to reduce the moisture content to 13%.
Right. Okay.
Done by drying it in a kiln.
Right. Got ya.
Monday was drying day, and the miller would be there working away, turning his oats with his shovel to make sure they dry evenly. Also very dusty,
Yeah.
and as you're turning the oats, you're raising all that dust into the air. Working in the kiln was described as stewy work.
Right.
And you'd get covered in stour, you'd be all dusty, but you also had the potential of blowing yourself up in a dust explosion.
Right.
So the miller's shovel is made of wood, which is like a malt shovel you would see in a maltings in a whiskey
Okay,
distillery.
yep.
And that's to avoid hitting the metal floor, sparking and lighting the dust and causing an explosion.
Wow.
But that's why the kiln is separate from the mill building,
Right,
to contain that risk of an explosion or fire.
Okay, got you.
At one time, there would have been kilns like this throughout Scotland.
Yep.
We think ours is the only one left, so it truly is a unique building.
Wow.
And one of the reasons it's probably still here is because they accidentally made it look pretty.
They did, it's gorgeous, it is.
About 400 years ago, it started to subside, and they added these stone buttresses around the outside to stop it from collapsing.
Right, okay.
Regular kilns are quite sort of simple cylindrical buildings,
Right.
but our one, looks like something.
Yeah, it's kind of wonky, but
Yeah.
it's really unique.
A lot of our visitors think it looks a bit like Hagrid's house from Harry Potter.
Something like that, or something from, I don't know, Lord of the Rings or something along those lines, yeah.
Go upstairs, mind your head.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
So we have two sets of millstones, which are usually inside wooden casings, called tons. That's the tons sitting up on the upper floor there. But they've been removed to reveal the millstones, and the millstones have just been dressed, which is a series of grooves cut into the surface of the stones, so that as they spin round, these act like cutting edges to chop at the grain. This is the upper runner stone, and this would sit the other way up on top of this bed stone over here on the right.
Right.
And when that top stone is spinning round, the grain will flow from above through the centre and out to the outer edge of the stones.
Got you.
And that's where the grinding takes place as it passes through the stones. And this year we're putting our stones back together. It's the first time in about 40 years
Oh wow.
that we'll have been
Brilliant.
capable of actually grinding here.
God, it's airy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love this. It's just great.
And it's all water powered. So all the machinery that works in here, grinding and turning, all the drive belts and the pulleys and the hoists are all being turned by the water
Wow.
flowing through the water wheel outside. In March, when we open to the public, we should actually be capable of grinding. It's quite exciting.
Yeah, fantastic. That is great. Well, listen, thank you so much. Honestly,
very welcome.
I was so
Thanks
lucky
for
you just popped out
stopping
there
by.
to walk the dog. So no, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Well, what an absolute treat that was. Place was closed. I just came to take some photos, take some footage, and he just happened to be there. Absolutely fantastic. That's just totally made my day. But now I'm going to head to a little village that's not too far from here, and I wanted to visit it because it is the birthplace of the oldest flag in the world, the Scottish Saltire. According to legend, in the 9th century, King Angus and his army of Picts and Scots were outnumbered and facing defeat to Athelstan's Saxons. On the eve of battle, a white cross is said to have appeared in the blue sky above them. The following day, the Scots were victorious, and that white cross on blue became known as the Saltire, Scotland's national flag, and the reason St Andrew is the patron saint of Scotland. Well, what a beautiful beach that is. This whole East Lothian coast is just beach after beach after beach. They're absolutely gorgeous. I mean, do they have the white sands and Caribbean looking water that they do in the Outer Hebrides or up on the North Coast 500 on the north and western section? No, they don't. It's the North Sea, and there is a real charm to these beaches as well, especially with all the golf courses that surround them. I mean, there's so many courses here and all the way up that east coast, and then of course around into Fife and that East Neuk area leading to the home of golf, St Andrews. It's just countless numbers. I mean, I would have loved to have brought my clubs, but I reckon if I did that, it would take me about a year to do this road trip. So, not possible. But, you know, Muirfield's one of the most famous golf courses in the world. It's here. I've never had the pleasure of playing it. I'm sure my dad and my brother both have. And my friend Nick, he's played it as well before. I think he said it was his favourite course. I've watched some amazing opens there, I must admit. We're just leaving now and I'm making my way just 5 minutes down the coast really to a little place called Aberlady, I think it is, or Aberlady. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But that's where I'm going before heading down to Port Seaton and then hopefully on to Portobello to get parked up for the night. I am running out of time though. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I've only got an hour of daylight left. So I don't know how much of these I'm going to see. I know that there's a nature walk along the salt marshes. I'm not going to have time to really do that and take it in. And I think if it was summertime, it would be well worth doing with all the wildlife and the birds that come here. I'm going to visit it nonetheless, just to have a look and see what it's like. Even just driving through some of these towns, I might not always have time to stop at every single one. I mean, I'm giving myself 3 months to do this. If I did every single village in every town, it would take 6 months to do this, especially with all the filming and everything that goes along into it. It's a lot and it's very time consuming. It might be a case of driving through some places and maybe they don't get the attention they deserve, but I can't take forever to do this road trip and they're not going anywhere. Ultimately, I can always come back at another time or in a different season. Sure, that's the bridge, the salt marshes. I've seen pictures of that online. I'm gonna have to stop here and might even just take a quick walk over it. I can't help myself. Oh well, I'm so glad I stopped there, even though it was only for 15 minutes or so, just to have a little wander around. I would have loved to have had longer. I mean, it is just beautiful on that water as the sun is sort of beginning to set, really. Absolutely gorgeous. What a lovely, lovely little spot. And a nice wee town as well. So I'm going to drive now about 15 minutes or so, take a drive along the coast and through Port Seaton, as well before I continue on down to Portobello, where I'm going to park up for the night. Ah, you bugger! I just drove past a car park for Lothian Beach. It looks sensational in this light. And damn the winter light that we have here. It just gets dark so early. It's only 3:20. Oh, that would have been a nice wee spot. Well, I mean, I wouldn't have been staying there anyway. For my schedule, I kind of wanted to get to Portobello tonight, so, and Port Seaton is a wee place I would have loved to have had a bit more time at as well. I'm going to be driving through it shortly. Like I said, it is what it is. If I want to do this in 3 months, I just don't have time to stop everywhere. Anywhere I drive through that I really like the fancy of, I might come back and just do a full episode of a particular place, for example, rather than going from one to the next, like on this road trip. Because this whole coastline, this East Lothian coastline, and the places have really took me by surprise. It's a gorgeous part of the country. It really is. I'm so glad I decided to do this road trip. I reckon it's going to be a bit of an eye-opener for me in so many different places as I go around. Hey folks, I was just driving through Preston there and I noticed a little, as I was coming around the corner, I was expecting to pick up a few bits and pieces, toilet paper, and I've just got myself, can't be bothered cooking tonight, I've done a lot of filming. I'm gonna, just got myself a little salmon poke and some chimichurri olives to have just a snack on, because I really can't be bothered cooking tonight. And just got some milk and some cheese and ham and some tins of tuna and stuff like that. And I did need to get some batteries as well, just for the lights in the van and my mouse for my laptop as well. I'm just going to stick this stuff away and then carry on. I'm in a bit of a hurry because I want to try and get to Portobello before it gets dark, and then I can get settled in. Oh my god. Standard. Right, we're good, let's go. Right, I'm just driving through Preston and the plan is to drive down the coast to Portobello, and I'm going to park at the coach and truck stop. Big car park that they've got there, and I've not stayed there before, but apparently it's actually pretty good. They've got toilets, waste disposal, showers, and all that kind of stuff, really, everything you kind of need. And I need to top up my water tank as well, so I'll take the liberty of doing that there. So I'm just going to go and enjoy the rest of this drive down. It's about 20 minutes away from here. This is a town called Musselburgh in between Preston Pans and Portobello. There's a Musselburgh race course here, it's quite a famous one as well. But again, looks like a lovely, lovely town. Right, so 5 minutes later, that's us officially in Edinburgh and just heading up sort of towards Leith, Portobello. Beautiful sky tonight. Looks like there's going to be a hell of a sunset. Again, I've been so lucky with the weather for the last couple of weeks so far. It's been sensational, right from when I started this road trip. Right, well, I'm packed up. I've had a look at the facilities. They're actually really, really good. They've got a chemical waste disposal point. They've got a place you can empty your grey waste. They've got a freshwater tap, which I've just filled up with. And they've got toilets. They've even got like a little sort of driver's cabin where there's a fridge, there's a microwave, there's a TV on and all that kind of stuff as well. All in all, it's pretty good. £25. And I know some people might think, "Well, that's pretty expensive. Some campsites don't cost that." But you're in the capital city. You're in Edinburgh, essentially. So it's about the location. They do allow camper vans and motorhomes to come in as well and just fill up with water or use the waste disposal points. £10, which again for the location I actually think is pretty good, and it's really, really handy that this is here. To be honest. It is on the Park for Night app as well. That's where I found it. And this is going to be my home for the night. And this is the realities of van life as well, folks. You're not always going to get beautiful scenes, next to you, next to the van and all the rest of it when you live in a van full time like I do. You're going to be occasionally in more urban areas. I don't spend an awful lot of time in cities and big towns and things like that, but on this road trip obviously I'm going to pass through a number of them, especially before I get anywhere near the Highlands, if you like, and it's certainly not past Inverness and coming down the west coast. It's all going to be small villages and towns really more than anything, but this is what you have to do sometimes. You're not always going to get those sort of beautiful views. Anyway, all I'm going to do now is have a quick bite to eat. I'm going to put my heater on actually. It's only 11 degrees in here at the moment, so I'm going to set that to 16 or so, and it usually just blasts up to about 20, but that'll do me. And just have a little bite to eat and get settled in for the night. Now, if you watched the episode that preceded this road trip, and I showed you how I get packed for a road trip like this, I've got two 13-foot beach caster rods here for a bit of beach fishing in the winter, but they have to go from my bed into the cab at night so I can get on my bed, and they have to go out the cab when I'm in there as well. Otherwise I'll be getting smacked in the face with them when I'm driving. Anyway, projector screen time. So, projector screen's all set up. That's ready to go for later. Stick on. I'm watching that Mr. Mercedes on Netflix, just in series 1, but it's pretty good. Brendan Gleeson's a brilliant actor. He was in Braveheart back in the day, but he's superb in this. He really is. Him and Brian Cox have really come into their own. Brian Cox in Succession, who's from Dundee, where I lived for 20 plus years, and Brendan Gleeson. He's just brilliant in it. But it's a funny thing. I'm now charging all my cameras and stuff. They're off camera. You won't be able to see them because I need to go again tomorrow. And this is one of the reasons why it's so difficult, especially with no light, past sort of 4 o'clock. It's so difficult to try and capture everything, along the way. Some places I will, unfortunately, just drive through or miss out, won't really be able to showcase them. It's just, I have to prioritise what I want to do, what I want to see, and I don't have forever to do this. I want to just get this done by sort of April at the latest, so you're only talking a few months really, and it would be impossible to do it and take everywhere in detail, because there's so much that goes into the filming. There's so much footage. My first episode last week, if you've not seen it, going from the border to North Berwick, I highly recommend you watch it. It was a great start to this road trip. But there's a lot that goes into it. When I was editing that, it took 12 hours to edit, and I had 175 gig of footage between all the different cameras and my drone and everything else to go through. So I'm going to have this glass of wine. I'm not going to do any organisation of anything I've filmed today, because I'm going to give myself a day off of filming this week to just get into that and do that. Last week I was filming, getting up at 7 in the morning, doing all my filming during the day, and then getting parked up at night, filming a meal or going out for a meal, and then back in the van. I would then spend probably another 2 hours, maybe slightly more, basically organising all the footage into folders, so I knew when it came to edit, I knew how to find them quickly off of each camera, off of each place that I visited, and it's all really, really well organised, but it's a lot of work that goes into doing that. So I was 12-hour days basically, so there's no way I'm going to be able to maintain that for this entire road trip. So I'm trying to be clever with my time, and I need to give myself a bit of downtime as well. I can't just be going at it 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. I would burn myself out, and there's no way I would be able to last, especially posting everything on social media and that as well, across 3 different platforms at the same time. It's quite a lot of work of editing reels, editing obviously the longer YouTube videos, putting the photos out, responding to comments, doing all that sort of usual stuff, and getting everything scheduled. It takes time. And of course there's days like today as well where I needed to go and do my washing. When you're living in a van, you still have to do those things you did at home. It's just a little bit more difficult. You don't have a washing machine, you don't have a dryer, you don't have, I have a shower, but it's a pain in the arse to set up, so I don't use it. So you have to still do all these things. You have to clean out your toilet and stuff like that. And these are all the things that people don't see on reels on Instagram, van life reels and things like that. And in this series, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you some beautiful places, I hope, but also at the same time, the realities of living in a van. And this is a perfect example of that. So in between normally all the filming, you're having to do all these other sort of administrative tasks. And these are the sort of tasks, these daily tasks that you tend to do off camera. But I'm trying to show a little bit of realism throughout this entire journey as well, because no doubt things are going to happen that were unexpected. Especially when I go up north, I could get stuck in a snowstorm for 3 days and can't move, So that week, that would literally be that episode. So it's going to be, there's going to be a whole mix of bag of everything. So join me next week as I head into the capital city of Scotland and wander the streets of Edinburgh. and then we'll walk to Cramond Island over a causeway that reveals itself at low tide, drive through South Queensferry and take in the engineering wonders of the Forth Bridges, Blackness Castle and the Falkirk Wheel. Like and subscribe for more van life adventures.